Hi, this is Mary Gaylord with Living Room Conversations. Thank you for joining me for this abbreviated host training. The purpose of Living Room Conversations is to gather in a small group, have a conversation to increase understanding and even reveal common ground beyond our politicized identities. Living Room Conversations are not designed to meet personal agendas, debate, or soapbox. The conversation agreements are a key part of the Living Room Conversations process. In fact, we review them before every Living Room conversation. They include these 6 agreements: be curious and open to learning, show respect and suspend judgment, find common ground and note differences, be authentic and welcome that from others, be purposeful and to the point, own and guide your conversation. Here are some tips for how to have your living room conversation. Choose a date and a time. Decide whether it will be an in-person conversation or a conversation using your computer webcam. Decide if you'd like to choose a co-host or if you want to be the sole host. Including 4 to 7 participants who have some diversity is ideal. If it's difficult to recruit diverse guests, consider a topic that brings forth different perspectives, like relationships first or status and privilege. And choose a topic. We have over 60 conversation guides to choose from. If you visit our website and choose the Topics tab, you'll see a list of topics, and if you click on any particular topic, you'll see the corresponding conversation guide. You can always consider creating your own topic materials. Again, if you're on the Topics page of our website and you scroll all the way down, you'll find some advice for how to create a good living room conversation. A custom conversation can be ideal if you have a specific local issue that you would like to talk about with people in your community. The conversation guide is also a foundational piece of our process. It's your roadmap and your script for a productive, enjoyable conversation. Remind your guests and participants to have the conversation guide handy at the time of the conversation. In fact, it's a good idea to email it or share it with your guests prior to the conversation. This way, if they're a little nervous or they don't know what they're getting into, they can see the process, the questions, and how the discussion will generally flow. The conversation agreements are also included in the conversation guide. The rounds of conversation is where the conversation really starts. It allows you to begin to explore core values with one another and find connection before engaging in your topic-specific part of the conversation. The final round of conversation allows you as a group and as individuals to reflect on the conversation and consider whether there are any next steps you might like to take. All living room conversations follow the same structure, with only the topic-specific round changing with each conversation. So you have your group together and you're ready to begin hosting the conversation. Start with introductions. Invite everyone to introduce themselves, and if you're on a computer webcam call, it's fun to find out where everyone is calling from. Next, refer to the conversation guide and read the opening paragraph to introduce your topic. This can be done either before or after the conversation agreements. It's ideal to have each participant read a conversation agreement out loud until all have been read. Next, you'll proceed with the conversation rounds. Read the questions for the first round and ensure that everybody, including you, has a chance to respond. Flow through all of the rounds until the conversation is complete. In terms of timing, we typically recommend that you spend about 10, maybe 15 minutes for the first round, and then again for the last round. The middle round is your topic-specific round. You'll spend the most time here. It's typical to go through the topic round a couple of times, allowing deeper exploration and conversation around the topic. About 15 minutes before you need to end the conversation, make sure you have shifted to the final round, which is the reflection and next steps. And in closing, please ask all of your guests to complete our feedback form, which can be found under the Resources tab on our website, or if you've printed it out, please have them complete it and return the form to you. Most living room conversations are predictable and a lot of fun, especially if you follow the conversation agreements and the process. But if you need to gently nudge things back on track, here are some ideas. If someone is dominating or has found their soapbox, respectfully interrupt and refer back to the conversation agreements, inviting everyone to get back on track with the current question. Some groups make the T sign for timeout. This can be used as a brief conversation timeout and reset. Remind participants to keep listening and seek common ground. Living room conversations are not intended to change minds, but rather to experience listening to different perspectives. The language that is used in the conversation can make a big difference. If you want to explore a different perspective, you might ask someone, what experiences in your life have shaped your perspective on this topic? Or, I'm really curious about that. Can you tell me more? Or, can you help me understand what you meant by? Or, I see things a bit differently. If you are having a conversation using your computer webcam, here are a few best practices. Again, it's useful for everyone to have the conversation guide available and in front of them. If some participants don't have it, not a problem. As host, feel free to read the agreements and any questions in the conversation aloud to the participants. Position yourself in a quiet place and try to avoid an environment where there are audio distractions. Avoid sitting in front of a light source. Consider muting yourself when you are not speaking. You'd be surprised at what others can hear in your environment that you can barely hear yourself. Rustling papers, typing on your computer keyboard, are all sounds that can be transmitted through your audio computer. Test out your video platform ahead of time if possible. And it's a good idea, if you want to learn more about Zoom, to visit their website at zoom.us and watch their Getting Started videos. Here's a slide that addresses some troubleshooting options. Rather than going into these details, please feel free to refer back to this slide if you need a few tips. 95% of the time, I would say the Zoom calls go very smoothly. Occasionally, you might need a quick and easy fix, and that's what this slide is for. The feedback for living room conversations is overwhelmingly positive. I share this feedback information with you because if you're trying to recruit guests who've never done it before, you might be able to share with them some of the feedback that we've received. 97% say that while they were nervous to participate, they were grateful and really enjoyed the experience once they'd had it. 98% said they would be interested in doing it again. There are many ways to get involved with living room conversations. You can sign up for our weekly email updates. We invite you to join our twice monthly host and organizer calls where you can connect with others who are having living room conversations. You can always become a member of our Facebook groups. We have one for our organizer community, which can be anybody who's organizing living room conversations. And then we also have our community group, which is a good place to find other conversation co-hosts and participants. For more information, feel free to get in touch with me, Mary, at livingroomconversations.org. Living room conversations are made up of a merry band of volunteers and just a handful of part-time paid staff. Most of our materials and training are free and open source because we believe in what we do and we really want to share it with you. If you're inspired to join us in the effort, every little bit helps. It means the world to us, and so do you. Please visit our website, livingroomconversations.org, if you would like to make a financial contribution or learn about our volunteer opportunities. Thanks for watching this programming. We couldn't do this without you. Here's to your next respectful living room conversation.